expect from the interview. So today in this session, we will be dealing with the common questions that are asked in all interviews. So interviews will be different. The questions asked in interviews will be different, but there are some certain questions which are commonly asked in interviews. So it is with this activity that we begin today. That is activity 3 from the text. This is in page 108 of your textbook. Activity 3 and the interview. Twinkle is anxious about the questions that can be asked for the interview. Twinkle is the name of the candidate. Write down some questions that are likely to be asked for the interview. So, can you tell some questions which we can expect that it can be asked in any interview? When somebody goes for an interview, this is a kind of question that we can expect. ഉറപ്പായിട്ടും ചോദിക്കാൻ സാധ്യതയുണ്ട് എന്ന് നമുക്ക് തോന്നുന്ന കുറച്ച് ചോദ്യങ്ങൾ ഇന്റർവ്യൂവിന് ചെല്ലുമ്പോൾ. Exactly, yes. That is a most common question that is asked in an interview. To introduce yourself, to exactly, yes, general knowledge, yes. So what did you read today? What is the main news today? Can be asked for an interview, yes. Yes. Why do you want this job? Why do you want to choose this profession? That is also a common question. Only these three? No, there are many questions that can be asked. These three are asked, but other than this, there are also many other questions that can be asked. Yes, very good, okay. Just, why should we hire you? Why should we hire you is a very common question. Because the company will be interested in knowing how you can contribute to the company. That's why they are asking such a question. Yes, about our weakness and also about our strength also. They will ask both. What can you bring to the company, etc. Yes. How will you benefit for the company? That is, what is your strength? Okay, that is what they are asking. So, the strength of the candidate, not in the sense of physical strength, but abilities. That is what they are asking for. What are our talents? What are our strengths, etc. So let us look at this one by one. The first is, of course, to asking you to introduce yourself. So that is how most interviews begin. So let us begin with that. Let us look at some of these once again. So this is a way in which they begin most of the interviews. That is, we are supposed to introduce ourselves. Self-introduction, yes. That's it. So tell me something about yourself, yes. So in this, this is usually the first question that is put forward by the panelists to the candidate. So which we get a time to introduce ourselves. We get about 5 minutes to tell about ourselves. It should not be too long. are not supposed to give a very detailed introduction about the family, etc. We are to focus always on our career, on our professional qualities. This is what we will focus on when we speak about ourselves. So this question is a question where we can actually talk a lot about ourselves. There is nothing wrong or right about us. You have to plan beforehand. You cannot plan while the interview is going on. What will I tell about myself? That is not something that you can do when the interview is going on. This is something which we have to prepare well before we even apply for a job. So we should actually write down something about ourselves, something like a bio note, which we can. This is something which we can write and read for ourselves. Bio note means about ourselves. What are we? What is our qualification? What are our strengths, etc. Some brief idea about us. We have to be very careful about what we write because, what we speak in that interview, because it is based on what we answer to this first question that the interview might turn in any direction according to what we say in the introduction. ഈ സെൽഫ് ഇൻട്രഡക്ഷനിൽ നമ്മൾ എന്തൊക്കെ പറയുന്നതനുസരിച്ചായിരിക്കും ഇന്റർവ്യൂവിന്റെ ഗതി തന്നെ നിർണ്ണയിക്കുന്നത്. So we have to be very careful so that we give more stress to get more comfortable and play down those areas which are not easy for us. So to not talk too much about areas which are not of which we are not very sure is a very good idea. To talk a lot about the areas which we are sure about is a good idea. Okay, so we should be speaking on the areas which we are very strong, where we have a very strong base, of which if they ask any further questions, we will be able to answer. Only such things we should be speaking when we talk in a self-introduction. So as I said, there are some things which we should not say, especially too many details about the family is not required. We have not gone for a marriage interview. We are gone for a job interview. So we should not focus on the family. Family details should be minimum details about the family. More about career. Okay. This is the next kind of question that can be asked. So it is the same question worded differently. Why do you want this job? Why do you want to work for us? Both have the same meaning, but they are just worded differently. So why do you want this job? എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ നമുക്ക് പെട്ടെന്ന് പറയാൻ തോന്നുന്ന ആൻസർ, ഇതിനാണ് ഇപ്പം നമുക്ക് ജോലി എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ നമുക്ക് പെട്ടെന്ന് സാർ പൈസക്കൊക്കെ ഭയങ്കര ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടാണ്, കുടുംബത്തിൽ ഭയങ്കര കഷ്ടപ്പാടാണ്, ഒരു ജോലി ഉണ്ടെങ്കിലാണ് രക്ഷയുള്ളൂ, അങ്ങനെ പറയാൻ പറ്റുമോ? Okay, but that it is a fact, but we cannot say that. It is the truth. Why do people work? People work for salary. People work for money. But we should not say such things in an interview. ഇന്റർവ്യൂവിന് പോകുമ്പോൾ പക്ഷെ നമ്മൾ അങ്ങനെയൊന്നും പറയരുത്. ജോലി ചെയ്യുന്നത് സാലറി കിട്ടാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ടാണ്. ആരും പൈസ വേണ്ടാന്ന് വിചാരിച്ച് ജോലി ചെയ്യുന്നില്ല. എല്ലാവരും സാലറിക്ക് വേണ്ടി തന്നെയാണ് ജോലി ചെയ്യുന്നത്. But that is not something that we say in an interview. In interview, we have to give professional answers to every question. See, that is why we have to use both our mind and heart when we speak in an interview. So how can I answer this question? I can focus on my professional development. I can focus on the professional development of the company also, the development of the company as well as of myself. So we will not talk about money here, but we will talk about professional development, which will include money. So we have to use certain terms, terms. That is professional development, career development, development of the company, etc. So why are you interested in this job? Why do you want to work for us? So you can tell them that yours is a very reputed organization. I have all organization like this, so that I can develop myself. I can learn more things. When you focus on learning, when you focus on development, I can also contribute towards the development of the company. So it is what is known as a win-win situation. This is what they call it, win-win situation. That is, you also get something, the company also gets something. So when you have such a question, it is an opportunity for us to show those people who are asking this question, to tell them how you are so much. So the way we answer it will show our motivation. വേറെ ജോലിയൊന്നുമില്ല അതുകൊണ്ട് വന്നതെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ it shows that there is no motivation except money. So money should not be the only motivation. അത് സത്യത്തിലും അങ്ങനെ ആയിരിക്കണം കേട്ടോ. Really also, this is my opinion. This is what we will also all experience when we enter into a job. Money cannot give you the happiness. Money alone cannot give you the happiness when you are working in a job. So that should be one consideration, but the other consideration is to contribute something towards yourself and for the organization that we are working. So this is what is really happening. We have to tell that we have other considerations of development, of contributing something to the society in which we live, contributing something to the organization in which we work, etc. So this shows that you are a genuine person. So this is a term that we will be using very commonly. Genuine means true. Someone who is not pretending. നടിക്കുന്നതല്ലാത്തത് ശരിക്കുമുള്ളത് അതിനെയാണ് ജെനുവിൻ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. So if we are not genuine, you cannot pretend in an interview and somehow get into the job. So if you pretend something and get into the job, you will be found out. After some time, they can even throw you out of the organization. So just by clearing an interview, it is not a proof. It's not going to be a safe ride for us unless we actually are the kind of people that we project ourselves. So we have to show how motivated are we beyond the salary, beyond the money, to get that job. We are so much interested in that job. We are so passionate about that job. Suppose it is just a job of skill of typing. Would you love the skill of typing? How fast can type? Are you trying to type without looking at the keyboard? Are you able to do it? Are you able to do it better than we did it yesterday? That is called passion. That kind of passion, if we have in the job, that is what they are trying to find out. I've just given typing as an example. All kinds of jobs, whether we have that kind of passion, that is what they want to find out, and that is what we are supposed to show them. So it is a chance for us to show them. Don't remain silent when we are asked such questions. So when we get such questions, uh, uh, we should not remain silent. We should actually respond. We should not remain silent. We should respond and tell them how we are motivated to get that job. So that is how we can respond to this question. So to know about the job also is very important. What kind of a job is it? So all these things we should find out before we go for the interview. Interview പോകുന്നതിന് മുമ്പ് നമുക്ക് ഇതൊക്കെ അറിഞ്ഞിരിക്കണം. അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് in the previous session also we said we should know about the company. We should find out what kind of a job is it. That's it. All these details. So there should be some research that we do before we go for the interview. So that whether we are interested in the job, that I don't know anything about the job, no, it shows that we have not done proper study, proper research. So we should do some research and then actually go for the interview. Okay, this is the next question. So this is a very commonly asked question. Why should we hire you? So this is completely focused on the company. What is the benefit that you will get, that the company will get if they take you? We are going to benefit. The candidate is going to benefit if the company offers us a job, because we get a salary. But how does the company benefit? The company gives a job to the candidate. What is the benefit for the company? That is what they are asking. So how will I answer this question? So when we answer this question, we should focus on how we can contribute to the company. So this is a major term that we should. Contribution. What is our contribution? Company's contribution is the salary that we get. What is our contribution? How will we contribute to the development of the company? So we can focus on what skills we have got, what are the abilities that we have. Now we cannot say that, sir, I am the best. ഞാൻ ഇവിടെ വന്നിട്ടുള്ള കാൻഡിഡേറ്റ്സ് ഏറ്റവും നല്ല കാൻഡിഡേറ്റ് ഞാനാണ് എന്ന് പറയാൻ പറ്റുമോ? നമ്മുടെ ആഗ്രഹം അതാണ്, പക്ഷെ നമുക്ക് അങ്ങനെ നമുക്ക് പറയാൻ പാടില്ല. So we can have, yes, we can tell them that the skills and experiences that you are looking for, I possess. That is a very safe way of answering. So instead of saying you are the best, so this is a very better way of saying that you can say that you have got the skills and experiences that you are looking for. I am a very suitable person for this job. So we are the best person, but that is not something that we should say. So here we should be talking about our contribution to the company. Yes. Sophie has written a very long sentence. I think I am flexible and adaptive to learn. we can feel the candidate alone who is having anxiety when they are attending interview. The company is also anxious whether they will get the right person. So if they take the wrong person, the company is going to be in trouble. So they don't want to do that. So the company is equally anxious as the candidate when they are conducting the interview. So we have to focus on how we will be contributing, and they should be convinced. I don't know, make them believe. They should be convinced. They should be sure that you are the best candidate. Just by saying that I am the best candidate, they are not going to believe, and that is going to put a very bad impression on. ഞാനാണ് നല്ല കാൻഡിഡേറ്റ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നതിനേക്കാളും നല്ല എനിക്ക് ഇന്ന സ്കിൽസ് ഉണ്ടെന്ന് പറയുന്നത് നന്നായി. So you can tell them that I have all these skills and experiences. I'm an adaptive personality. I'm flexible. I'll be able to contribute something about the company. Why should we say it? When we say it, it shows that we are confident about ourselves. നമുക്ക് കോൺഫിഡൻസ് ഉള്ള കാര്യങ്ങളെ കുറിച്ച് മാത്രമേ നമുക്ക് ഇന്നുണ്ടെന്ന് നമുക്ക് പറയാൻ പറ്റുള്ളൂ. So that confidence, if we are ourselves convinced, then we'll be able to convince others. If we are ourselves not sure about ourselves, എനിക്ക് തന്നെ ഇന്ന സ്കില്ലുണ്ടോ എന്ന് സ്വയം സംശയമാണെങ്കിൽ, how am I going to convince others? So if we are not sure about ourselves, they are also not going to be convinced about us. The questions that I have these skills, have these abilities, and I will be able to use these abilities for working in the organization. So this is how I can answer this question. Okay, so strength എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ തന്നെ നമുക്ക് ആദ്യം മനസ്സിൽ വരുന്നത് ഫിസിക്കൽ സ്ട്രെങ്ത് ആണ്. എത്ര സ്ട്രോങ് ആണ്, 10 കിലോ എടുത്ത് പൊന്തിക്കാൻ പറ്റും, അതല്ല അവിടെ ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നത്. വി ആർ ടോക്കിംഗ് അബൌട്ട് പ്രൊഫഷണൽ സ്ട്രെങ്ത്. പ്രൊഫഷണൽ സ്ട്രെങ്ത് എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ നമ്മുടെ സ്കിൽസ്, ആറ്റിറ്റ്യൂഡ്സ്, ബിഹേവിയറൽ സ്ട്രെങ്ത്, പേഴ്സണാലിറ്റി, അങ്ങനെയുള്ള കാര്യങ്ങളൊക്കെയാണ് ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നത്. സോ ആസ് Geoffrey said here, your ability to be adaptive, your ability to change according to the situation, your ability to be flexible, these are all strengths. Then the qualities that we have. Everybody will have some qualities which they can stress upon. What are the different values that we have got? Values like hardworking nature, punctuality, commitment, dedication, sincerity, so many qualities that we have. We have to focus on some particular quality. So here they are asking for hard skills. Hard skills means what are you? Accountancy. I'm strong in typing of letters. I'm strong in listening and taking dictation. What are our strengths that is professionally related? Here they are asking about those strengths. And after talking about our professional things, we can talk about our flexibility, adaptability, punctuality, dedication, commitment, sincerity, etc. But first, we should talk about the hard skills. Then we talk about the soft skills. Soft skills are things which are related to your mind and heart. Hard skills are those related to your brain and physicalities. So these are the strengths that will be first said. That is, hard skills will be first enumerated. We'll talk about our important skills that we have, and then we talk about our soft skills. So when you are asked such a question, it is an opportunity. For us, it is an opportunity to promote ourselves as a candidate. How am I going to be useful for them? So here there is no need to be very humble here. We can focus on all the skills that we have. ഉള്ള സ്കിൽസ് ഉള്ളതുപോലെ തന്നെ പറയണം, ഇല്ലാത്തത് പറയാനും പാടില്ല. ഉള്ള സ്കിൽസേ പറയാവൂ, ഉള്ള സ്കിൽസ് എല്ലാം പറയുകയും വേണം. അത് പറയേണ്ട ആവശ്യമില്ല എന്ന് വിചാരിച്ച് പറയാതിരിക്കരുത്. നമുക്ക് എന്തൊക്കെ സ്കിൽസ് ഉണ്ടോ അതെല്ലാം നമ്മൾ പറയണം. കാരണം it is based on what we say that they are going to make the final decision of whether they should take us or not. So we should always focus on the best qualities that we have, and according to the job we have to focus on the qualities that we narrate. When you are going for a job in a bank, some qualities that are required somewhere else may not be required. When you are going for a job as an arts trainer or as a dance teacher, you have got a prize in dance will become relevant. പക്ഷേ ബാങ്കിൽ ജോലിക്ക് പോകുമ്പോൾ ഡാൻസിന് പ്രൈസ് കിട്ടിയിട്ടുണ്ടെന്ന് പറയുന്നതിൽ അർത്ഥമില്ല. So relevance to that position is very important. Whether the skill that we are mentioning is the job for which we are appearing in the interview, only then we have to mention those qualities. So the qualities that we mention here would be based on whether they are yes. Okay. So here you have attention to detail, as Jofi has said. So learn such things, learn such phrases like very closely observant in nature. So some specific details about ourselves. So that will be very interesting for the interviewer also. They will be interested in knowing how you are different from others. So most of the candidates will say the same sets of skills. But if you can focus on something that makes you different from them, that will be an interesting thing for the interviewer. So I have been detail oriented in my work, and it is something I enjoy. Okay. So you can include all these things when we talk about our strengths. Let's now move on to the next slide. So as I said, it should be dependent on the kind of job that we are applying, whether it is a job for banking, whether it's a job it will be dependent on okay. So what I answer will depend on the kind of position that I apply. So if it is a management position, you can focus on your leadership skills. If you are, if it is a position as in the front of Is it okay now? Is the sound okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll change the device. So if it is a management position, you can focus on leadership skills because a manager requires leadership. If it is a position of a place where you need good communication skills. For example, if you are working in a news bureau, you need a lot of communication skills. So then your ability to interact with people will come in handy there. So I'm good at getting along well with people, can be focused on that. So we have to modify our focus on the skills. We may have all these skills, but the focus should keep changing depending upon the job that we apply for or the interview that we appear in. So when we focus on the interview, we get very little time. So in that little time, we have to highlight those skills which are most important for that particular job. This is one of the most difficult questions in job interviews, and which is very tricky also, because if you are not careful in the way you answer this question, uh, you are not likely to be selected for the interview. So everybody has weaknesses. So can I say that I don't have any weakness? സാറ് വിചാരിക്കുന്ന മാതിരിയല്ല, എനിക്ക് ഒരു വീക്ക്നെസ്സും ഇല്ല. ഞാനൊരു റെയ്മൺസിന്റെ ഒക്കെ പരസ്യത്തിൽ പറയുന്ന പോലെ കംപ്ലീറ്റ് മാൻ എന്നാണ്. അങ്ങനെ പറയാൻ പറ്റും. ഒരു വീക്ക്നെസ്സും ഇല്ലാത്ത ആളാണ്. No, we cannot say that. We cannot say that we don't have any weakness. എന്നാ പിന്നെ ഉള്ള വീക്ക്നെസ് ഒക്കെ ഇങ്ങോട്ട് പറയാം. അങ്ങനെ പറ്റുമോ? അതായത് വാട്ട് ഈസ് യുവർ വീക്ക്നെസ് എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ അത് ഇങ്ങനെ ഇരിക്കുമ്പോൾ ഉറങ്ങും. ക്ലാസ് ഒക്കെ നടക്കുമ്പോൾ ഇങ്ങനെ ഉറങ്ങിപ്പോവും. മഴയൊക്കെ ഇങ്ങനെ പെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കില്ലേ, അപ്പൊ ഇങ്ങനെ ഉറങ്ങിപ്പോവും. ക്ലാസ് കഴിയുമ്പോഴാണ് കണ്ണു തുറക്കുക. അതൊരു വീക്ക്നെസ് ആണ്. ജോലിക്ക് ഇരിക്കുമ്പോൾ ഇങ്ങനെ ഇരിക്കുമ്പോൾ ഉറക്കം വരുന്നത് ഒരു വലിയ വീക്ക്നെസ് ആണ്. Can I say that? We cannot say all these things. അതൊക്കെ എൻ്റെ വീക്ക്നെസ് ആണ്, പക്ഷെ നമുക്കത് പറയാൻ പറ്റില്ല. There are certain things which we can say, certain things which we should not say also. So what can we say when we talk about our weakness? എന്ത് തരത്തിലുള്ള വീക്ക്നെസ്? Okay. Yes. This is a kind of weakness that we can talk about. Some, that is, weaknesses that can double as strengths. So I tend to be overly critical of myself എന്നാണ് ചോദിച്ചത്. നമ്മൾ I tend to be overly critical of others എന്നാണെങ്കിൽ അത് നെഗറ്റീവായി. ഇത് പോസിറ്റീവാണ്. So that is weaknesses which can be a positive quality. So when I am critical about myself, what happens? I actually become better person for the company, isn't it? So that is why this. So weaknesses which can be of a positive effect for the company, that kind of weaknesses can be. Because this is a common question which are asked in interviews, people have already derived different methods of answering it. As I said, we cannot say that we are lazy, we tend to fall asleep, we are not responsible, I can get easily distracted, etc. ഇതൊക്കെ നെഗറ്റീവ് ആയിട്ടുള്ളതാണ്. ഇതെന്തായാലും നമുക്ക് പറയാൻ പറ്റില്ലെന്ന് എല്ലാവർക്കും അറിയാം. So everybody knows that you should not say these things, that I tend to sleep, I don't like to work, etc. Nobody wants to say these things. Everybody knows that they should not say this. But usually what people say is they try to, they are perfectionists. So I tend to be overly critical of myself എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്, which means that we are a perfectionist or we work too much. അത് വർക്ക് ചെയ്തിരിക്കുമ്പോൾ സമയം പോകുന്നത് അറിയില്ല. This office is still 5 o'clock in the evening, but I forget the time and I sit up till 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock. So that is my weakness. Is it a weakness? It is a weakness for me, but for the company it's beneficial. So such weaknesses are usually narrated by people in interviews, and the interview people also know that these people are going to come up with such things. So these are the commonly said responses when asked this question. But it is we will sound more genuine, more true if you try to focus, if you try to highlight some real weaknesses which we are trying to work on. That will make us more honest. But don't try that in the very first interview. Try to learn about how we can present weaknesses in a way that is not going to destroy our interview possibilities. So this is a very common way of response, but it is suggested that we should try to be more honest and focus on those qualities. That is, for example, how I want to be more organized. Many a time I feel that I'm not properly organized. I'm not. I'm trying to become better. I'm bad no and I am trying to become in handling tasks. I'm trying to become better in handling interpersonal issues. These are some areas which everybody has problems in. Even the manager who is conducting the interview has problems with dealing with people. So interpersonal issues are something that everybody has. So when we answer it in such a manner, that will actually give us an edge over the other candidate because we are trying to be more honest. So honesty is always something that pays everywhere. Honesty is the best policy no and it is something which is always appreciated everywhere. An honest person is always liked more by people than an intelligent person. Do you like an intelligent person or an honest person? Who do you like better? Intelligent person or an honest person? കേൾക്കുന്നില്ലേ? Hello, can you hear me?
യെസ് സാർ, ഇപ്പൊ കേൾക്കാം. കുറച്ച് നേരത്തെ സ്ട്രക്കായിട്ടാണ് എനിക്ക് കേട്ടത്. ഇവിടെ മഴയുള്ളതുകൊണ്ടാണോന്ന് അറിയില്ല സാർ.
അല്ല, എവിടെയും പ്രോബ്ലം ഉണ്ട്. ഇവിടെയും എന്തോ നെറ്റ്വർക്ക് പ്രോബ്ലം. Can you hear me?
യെസ് സാർ.
So, being honest, I'm talking about being honest. So, honesty is considered to be the best policy. So, all companies will prefer people who are honest than intelligent. ശരിക്കും ഇൻ്റലിജൻ്റ് ആളെ കൊണ്ടാണ് കമ്പനിയുടെ ഗ്രോത്തിന് കൂടുതൽ ബെനിഫിറ്റ് എങ്കിലും ശരിക്കും ഓണസ്റ്റിയാണ് എല്ലാവരും അപ്രീഷിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുക. ദിസ് ഇസ് ട്രൂ ഓഫ് അവർസെൽസ് ഓൾസോ. നമ്മളാണെങ്കിലും ഓണസ്റ്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ആളുകൊണ്ട് ഇൻ്റലിജൻ്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ആളുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ നമ്മൾ ആരെയാണ് പ്രിഫർ ചെയ്യുക? നമ്മളും പ്രിഫർ ചെയ്യുക ഓണസ്റ്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ആളെയാണ്. So the same is true of all companies as well. Exactly, yes. Thank you for that response. So this is how we can be honest. We can tell them that I am trying to organize myself. I am trying to how to become better in working in a team. That shows that we are honest and we are trying to work on our weak points, etc. But being honest doesn't mean that we have to focus on our really bad points, like going to sleep when a session is going on, etc. But something more on which actually we are working at. This is how we will. Okay, this is a yes, that's right. So this is a kind of question which is different from the other questions that we have seen uh, so far. Where do you see yourself? Yes, yes. Where do you see yourself in 5 years, or where do you see yourself in 10 years? Where do you see yourself in 10 years, or where do you see yourself? Okay, okay. Can you give now?
യെസ് സാർ കേക്കാം. പക്ഷെ സൗണ്ട് കുറവായിട്ട് കേൾക്കണം സാർ.
Okay, now is the sound better. Is it okay now?
യെസ് സർ.
So, this question, where do you see yourself in 5 years, is trying to see whether we have a vision, whether the candidate has a vision for the future. Only a person who has a vision will work. A person doesn't have a vision does not work. They remain idle. So this is what something very true of all uh, people, that if you are career oriented, you are going to become successful. Yes. So we can give such a response. In 5 years, I hope to learn new skills. I will have grown in knowledge and I will have advanced in my career. അല്ലാതെ 5 വർഷം കഴിയുമ്പോഴും ഇതുപോലൊക്കെ തന്നെ ഉണ്ടാവും എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ means that there is no growth. And anything that does not grow dies എന്നാണ്. ചുറ്റും നോക്കിയാലും അങ്ങനെയാണ് അതിൻ്റെ. Anything that does not grow dies. So we should have this possibility of growth in us only when we have a vision. for the future. So we can say that in 10 years, in 5 years, I will have developed myself, my knowledge, my career. At the same time, I can also add something. I will have contributed to the development of the company also. Because here, it is something very something. So our focus should be on improving ourselves, to making ourselves better candidates for the job. So that's why we will be focusing on how we are going to change, not remain the same even after 5 years. So we should change, we should develop, we should have a vision. So that is what they mean by this plan. We should have a vision, a dream of achieving. We should have a very clear idea of what we are going to have. That is called a vision. What do you want to achieve? It should be related to the work that we are engaged. So sometimes we may not have a very specific plan of what we have to achieve, but we can have a rough idea, what we call a sketch, something like a rough sketch of what we want to achieve. You can tell them also that I actually don't have a very clear idea of what is going to be in 5 years, but I plan to become more focused on this particular skill, which is related to this job, so that I can contribute better to myself and for the organization. So that kind of an honest answer will always fetch good marks in that. So really, actually, people are looking forward to a job. ജോലി കിട്ടിയിട്ട് വേണം ലീവ് എടുക്കാന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ പോലെയാണ് ആളുകൾ. എല്ലാവരും അങ്ങനെയാണ്. പക്ഷെ അത് നമ്മൾ അവിടെ പറയാൻ പറ്റില്ല. ഹെൽഡ് ദാറ്റ് ഇൻ എ ജോബ് ഇന്റർവ്യൂ. ജോലി കിട്ടി ആ ശമ്പളമൊക്കെ കിട്ടിയിട്ട് വേണം ഒരു പിക്നിക്കിൽ പോയി ബീച്ചിലൊക്കെ പോയിട്ട് റെസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ. So that is not something that we talk about in an interview. In an interview, it is always professionally or focused. എല്ലാത്തിനും ആൻസേഴ്സ് പ്രൊഫഷണൽ ആൻസേഴ്സ് ആണ്. പേഴ്സണൽ ആൻസേഴ്സ് ഒന്നും അവിടെ പ്രസക്തിയില്ല. വി ഹാവ് ടു ബി പ്രൊഫഷണൽ ഇൻ അവർ റെസ്പോൺസസ് ദാറ്റ് മീൻ. So this is not something that we will tell in an interview of enjoying ourselves in a beach in the Maldives. That's not something. We will tell on how we will be developing ourselves as an individual who will contribute a lot to the company. Okay, so this is the sixth question. Okay, so this is a very difficult question. Why are you leaving your current job? Why did you leave your last job? These have the same meaning, worded differently. ഒരേ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ തന്നെ പല രീതിയിൽ ചോദിച്ചിരിക്കും. Suppose you are applying for a job after leaving another job. So they will surely ask you, why did you leave that job? So can I tell them that the people there were very bad? I did not enjoy that work. No, we cannot give negative, or attitude should always be a very positive attitude. ശരിക്കും സത്യം അതായിരിക്കും, അവിടെ ആളുകളായിട്ടൊക്കെ പ്രശ്നമായിട്ടായിരിക്കും നമ്മൾ അവിടെ നിന്ന് പോയത്. പക്ഷേ we are not supposed to tell such things in an interview. we should always give a positive response. Even if I had a negative experience, I can say that that place was good, but this is better. See, this is a way of positive. The previous job was good, but I feel that this job is better. That is one way of answering. But you can also answer in many other ways. I can say that I see more opportunities in this job. Therefore, I am leaving that job. So that I can grow more, learn more, understand more by joining this organization. So criticizing the previous organization or criticizing the previous job will invite a negative marks for us in the interview. So always a positive attitude should be maintained when we give responses in the job interview. So we are quitting because you don't like the job, but how can you tell this to your future employer? Yes. I want to learn more. I feel like I am ready to take on more responsibility, etc. Yes. So very good. Okay. So this is the reason we are leaving. But how can we tell this to our employer? As positive as possible. Should be all responses should be very positive. So we should say that it is a very nice organization that I work. I learned a lot of things from there, but I hope to learn more things from here. That's why I am joining this organization. The positive response will actually attract more marks for us in the interview. So a positive attitude, a genuine attitude, an honest approach is something that will fetch us a lot of marks in the interview. So there are a couple of more questions. I think we will take it up in the next session. Any questions? Do you have any doubts about this so far?
നോ സാർ. സാർ,
Yeah.
അറ്റൻഡൻസ് മാർക്ക് ചെയ്യാൻ പറഞ്ഞിരുന്നില്ലേ സാർ മൂഡില്? പക്ഷെ അത് ഓൾറെഡി ടിക്ക് മാർക്ക് ആയിട്ടാണ് കിടന്നിരുന്നത്. അത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് വീണ്ടും ചെക്ക് ചെയ്തപ്പോ അതിൽ ലേറ്റ്, എക്സ്ക്യൂസ്ഡ്, പിന്നെ ആബ്സെന്റ് ആണ് കിടക്കുന്നത്.
ഓക്കെ, ഞാൻ ചെക്ക് ചെയ്യാം. കുഴപ്പമില്ല, അത് ചിലപ്പോൾ എൻട്രിയിൽ എന്തെങ്കിലും തെറ്റ് വന്നതായിരിക്കാം.
ഓക്കെ സാർ. ആദ്യം കണ്ടപ്പോൾ ഓൾറെഡി ഞങ്ങൾ ടിക്ക് മാർക്ക് ആയ കാരണം അതിലേക്ക് ജസ്റ്റ് ടിക്ക് മാർക്ക് ടിക്ക് കൊടുത്തിട്ട് നേരെ ജോയിൻ ചെയ്യാണ് ചെയ്തത്. അത് കഴിഞ്ഞ് രണ്ടാമത് ചെക്ക് ചെയ്തപ്പോഴാണ് അതിൽ 3 ഓപ്ഷൻസ് വന്ന് കിടക്കുന്നത്. ക്ലാസ് സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ ഓപ്ഷൻസ് റിമൂവ് ആയി പോകുന്ന അതിൽ കൊടുത്തിട്ടുണ്ട്.